going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Too Sweet and Short, a Too Sweet Converse production hosted by Too Sweet Cosplay. I'm EJV alongside Steve-O,
Yo.
Wild Card,
Yo.
and Nico.
What up?
All right, this is our second episode this week. We hope you guys enjoyed the first one where we talked about Ali joining Retribution. Now to lead us now, Steve-O, please present the second topic for our second episode, please.
Thank you kindly. So, coming off the heels of this past Sunday's NXT Takeover 31 on the WWE Network, we saw former NXT UK Women's Champion Toni Storm coming back to NXT after weeks, and also after weeks of promos. The person returning to NXT on the 4th of October was Ember Moon, who has been nearly out for a year with the torn Achilles. So very, very exciting situation. We see this all happened. Both the returns happened at the end of the Shirai match, where she did retain her championship to Candice LeRae. So very exciting stuff here. Things are shaking up in the NXT women's division. So guys, with their returns to NXT, what do you feel about the state of the division in NXT for the women? And who do you think will be the first of these two to challenge Shirai for her NXT Women's Championship? Let's give this one to Wildcard to start off first.
I was just going to say that I really wanted to talk about this topic, so thank you very much for letting me go first here. It was a much-needed boost, because I kind of felt like personally that the NXT Women's Division was lacking a little bit. I mean, sure, there was some good talent on that roster there, but it just felt like it was just missing a little bit. Like, almost like, I wouldn't say like star power per se, but in a way it kind of was. Like that, it was really missing that. I mean, no disrespect to what Shirai is doing as an NXT Women's Champion. I think she's been she's doing a great job as an NXT Women's Champion. But, I mean, seeing Toni Storm and Ember Moon come back on the same night, one of them would have already been it would have been more than enough of a pop, but both of them at the same time, that's huge. I mean, the fact that Toni Storm was somebody who we haven't seen in a while because of COVID reasons, obviously, so it was really awesome to really see her back. But Ember Moon was somebody that really intrigued me, just because of the injury she had sustained, torn Achilles tendon, and there was even some hints that she may not even have returned to the ring, which would have been very disappointing because, she's great talent right there. So it would have been a shame to really see her retire so quickly. So there was a lot of uncertainty going around her, and I thought it was great that she came back because not only did she come back, but she came back to NXT because I felt like her call up to the main roster, I felt like that was just a little bit too soon. They didn't really have anything for her. I just felt like that there was just nothing for her to go with, on the main roster. So didn't really have to move out of NXT, but the fact that she's back on it with this new look, new attitude, I say why not give her the first crack at the title? I mean, I would love to see Shirai and Ember Moon go at it. But I can see this potentially turning into like a triple threat match for the women's title. I think that's money right there. But the takeaway message here is that having those two come back to NXT really gave the women's division a much needed boost, because again, they really needed something that felt like it was just lacking for a while, at least compared to the women's division on the main roster. And those two coming back at the same night, how huge can that be? So I can't wait to see what happens here. But I'm going to pass the ball to Nico. I'm going to see what your thoughts are, man.
All right, guys. Real quick. And I got to give a quick shout out to NXT play-by-play announcer Vic Joseph, because he mentioned this at the end of NXT last night that I didn't necessarily think about until he said it. With a returning Ember Moon and Toni Storm. By the way, we were all way wrong about a week ago or 2 weeks ago on who we thought the bike person would be. We were all way wrong. We all thought maybe it was going to be a Bo Dallas or somebody. It turned out to be Ember Moon. I was pleasantly surprised, especially because my colleague Wildcard said, we all thought maybe Ember Moon's career was done in WWE from a wrestling standpoint. Even she hinted at it on her numerous appearances on WWE backstage. But I'm very happy she's back in the wrestling ring. Anyways, to my original point, with the returning Ember Moon and Toni Storm, NXT's women's division is absolutely stacked. Jesus H. Christ. You got the champion Io Shirai. You got Rhea Ripley, who is probably going to be the future breakout star of the WWE women's division. Dakota Kai right now is killing it. I love her. She's got that new finishing move, the chiropractor. Oh my goodness, it's absolutely brutal and it looks cool. You got Ember Moon and Toni Storm coming back. I got a feeling Ember's gonna be the rebel babyface, and Toni's gonna be the heel. I can get into that later. But then you also got a big monster like Raquel Gonzalez. You got a legit badass like Mercedes Martinez that you can plug her in at any spot and she can work for you for your women's division. Same with Candice LeRae. You can do that with her as well. I know they're doing this whole Gargano Way storyline between her and her husband, but you can plug Candice in any scenario for their women's division and it'll work. Their women's division is stacked. You got Shotzi Blackheart. Oh my goodness. I know a lot of people may not take Shotzi very seriously, but trust me when I tell you, homegirl can work. I think right now, the first person who should get the shot would probably be Ember, just because, like I said, she's the big rebel babyface that everybody's so happy to be back in NXT. But then you can get Toni finally over to America and just be like, wait a minute, guys, I'm back. And to me, the biggest star out of anybody is Toni Storm. Yeah, I know she's dealt with her battles mentally, with her privacy being invaded, but man, she's it. She's got the look. She looks like a star. The way she carries herself, she can go in the ring. She can do Japanese strong style. She can do your basic chain wrestling, whatever you want her to do. I think she's the future top baby face of WWE Women's Division, while Rhea Ripley could be the next big monster mega heel. That's just how I would book it if I had the pencil. Thank God I don't. But right now, NXT's Women's Division is totally stacked. Might be the best women's division in wrestling overall for women's wrestling. I'm super glad Ember's back in NXT. Like my colleague Wildcard said, when they brought her up to WWE's main roster the night after WrestleMania 34, I was like, okay, why? They introduced her as Nia Jax's tag team partner against Mickey and Alexa Bliss. And everyone was happy because it's the post WrestleMania crowd, but I honestly think nobody else really cared after the fact, because it made no sense whatsoever. But I'm glad she's back wrestling. Threw us off for a loop. We all thought it was gonna be Bo Dallas, that was gonna be the biker. It turned out to be Ember Moon. I was like, oh, okay, cool, right on. So NXT's women's division looks very bright, and I'm super excited. Like I said, I think Ember's going to get the first shot, but then that's when Toni can come in and kind of be like, wait a minute, girls. I'm here now, bitches. All right. I'm going to pass it over to the big man. Wake up. All right, here you go. E, you're up.
All right, don't worry, I'm awake. I've been listening into this whole conversation, good brothers. But to me, it's great to have both women back in NXT because it elevates the division, it makes it stronger. We know, and both of these women are talented beyond belief. They got great looks. They're hella great in the ring. They could do virtually anything. You got Ember Moon, who's got that mysterious kind of almost dark vibe to her. Kind of almost like witchcraft type deal. And then you've got Toni Storm, who's an 80s rocker chick straight out of a Motley Crue music video. And she is a badass, and she pushes that look to the T, and it is amazing. So to me, those are two awesome additions to the NXT Women's Division. It's going to make it stronger and one of the best women's divisions in the entire wrestling world. To me, who's going to get the first shot? I agree it's going to be Ember Moon because A, she's already there. Toni Storm hasn't 100% shown up yet. And with Ember Moon gaining victories as the weeks progress, if she does gain victories, that's going to put her closer to that title shot that I know she wants. Because if you remember, she lost the title to Asuka back when she was originally with NXT, and everything, and then she got injured when she was on the main roster. And like the other guy said, an Achilles tear is a career-ending injury usually. Most people don't come back from that. And she's coming back from this, and she looks better than ever already in her first match. And we know Toni Storm, like I said, her mental issues she's been dealing with emotionally, with that, and also the fact that she had been out of the country with her boyfriend Juice Robinson, and they just reopened up the borders for business travel, so now she's able to come back. So that's going to be a great thing for the rest of the roster. Overall, I'm excited to see both women back. I'm excited to see what storylines they could bring. And if we get an Ember Moon versus Toni Storm matchup for the NXT Championship, I'm full on board. So, like I said, great to have both women back, and let's make the NXT Women's Division the best it could be. Now let's pass it on to my buddy Steve-O with his take on this.
Thank you, friends. Much appreciated. So, first off, props for NXT for honoring my request during our predictions video. Halloween Havoc's coming back. Yay. And then second off, props to an awesome NXT Takeover 31. We could say a lot about that, but, that's a whole other topic. But I'm going to get to one of my highlights, which is this very topic here. I think that Toni Storm and Ember Moon both returning that night is probably one of the coolest things that happened the whole night on NXT Takeover. It's like, holy shit, Toni is coming back to NXT. She's going to actually be competing on the NXT, I don't want to say NXT US. We'll just call it NXT Prime brand, rather than just the UK brand. So she's going to be going for Io Shirai's championship over on NXT. And then it's nice to see Ember Moon return from a torn Achilles. I mean, we all thought she was going to retire, maybe to be working back in behind the scenes in the WWE. So I'm glad to see she'll be competing. I know she was very vocal about how poorly her main roster was going, and she even stated things that she saw wrong with the current product. And I did agree with Ember on those things because she does have a good mind for the business. I think she's, has a lot of passion. So I'm glad to see she's going to be able to go back in the ring and not be sidelined. So God bless. I'm so happy she's going to be back. So yeah, this division is probably one of the hottest divisions. A lot of variety of women, a lot of people you can see as contenders. I mean, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez were actually going to be, they're trying to get themselves back in the contendership scene as well. And then now we got, Shotzi Blackheart is a potential contender. We got these two ladies who have just come by. Rhea Ripley, she's not giving up a fight. She wants the NXT Championship back, and she's a great contender too. So lots of great contenders. And then of course Candice LeRae was not successful in her attempt, but they put on a hell of a match this past Sunday. Anyways, let's get it down to these two. Ember Moon and Toni Storm. I think I kind of could see a repeat of what's going on with Finn Balor going on with him becoming the NXT champion. going on to Ember Moon. I think she could have a bit of a career resurgence. She might be the next NXT Women's Champion. I could see her actually take the title from Io Shirai and just kind of dominate the division. Maybe she could even become a top heel over time. We could see something happen with that, but that could also be in Toni Storm's game as well. I've watched very little NXT UK. I remember her in the Evolution pay-per-view. She put an awesome showing. I was like, okay, Toni Storm, I think she's going to be on NXT soon enough, or maybe even come to the main roster. I was kind of surprised, but then, of course, COVID happened. That delayed some things happening, and we actually saw Rhea Ripley come a little more onto the scene. But I'm happy to see Toni Storm is on NXT's main brand. I think she's going to tear it up, and I'm excited to see what's going to be happening with the women's division. So props to NXT all around. Lots of great things are on the horizon for their women's division. Before we close out this topic, do you guys want to add anything else on?
Not really much for me, except the other women's divisions around the wrestling world better step up their game, because NXT is really stepping up theirs. So just if you want to make your women's division the best, you better either add some additions or make some stars here, people.
Yeah, I was going to say that AEW better step up their women's division there too, because I think we've talked about this in previous podcasts, is that, they got great talent over there, but I feel like, for me personally, I don't know if you guys would agree with me on this, but I feel like they're missing just that one star power person, female there too, that could really put them over the top. That's just me. There's a lot of argument as to who that could be there too. That could be discussed maybe on another time, but I feel like that's something that they're missing right now that NXT seems to have at the moment, because they have developing female wrestlers that are ready to take the ball. So that's my take on that.
Slowly but surely, AEW is getting a little better, but I think they do need some work. Nico, go ahead. What do you have?
Yeah, to kind of echo what both EJV and Wildcard are both saying here. Raw, SmackDown, AEW, any promotion out there, Impact, step your game up with your women's division, please. I know Impact usually has a stacked women's division, but they just don't know how to use everybody. Once again, they are trying to promote intergender wrestling. I don't have a problem with that per se. We can get into that topic on a different episode. Anyways, NXT's women's division, I think, is the best right now in all of wrestling in regards to actually knowing how to use your women's division. I said this in regards to Impact Wrestling with their tag team division. You could have talented people all you want, but if you don't know how to use them all properly, you're kind of wasting it. We've seen on Raw and SmackDown and AEW, they have talented people, but they just don't know how to use them. AEW doesn't know how to book right now. They're going to get better. They're only a year in existence, but I'm telling you right now, AEW needs writers on how to tell their stories with women wrestlers. I'm sorry, but Kenny Omega and Dustin Rhodes, as much as I love them, they are not the guys to do it. You need people who can actually draw and know how to tell stories that involve emotion that you have when you have strong female characters. NXT's killing it right now. Everybody else, step up your game.
Well said, everyone. Great stuff, NXT. Great discussion. Now, to Sweet Cosplay Universe, what's your overall thoughts? Who would you like to see get the first shot at the NXT Women's title between Toni Storm and Ember Moon? Let us know in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Follow us at 2Sweet Cosplay on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. From all of us at 2Sweet Cosplay, 2 Sweet, y'all.